In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a realistic character inspired by a celebrity actress using Unreal Engine, Metahuman Creator, and ZBrush. We'll get started in Unreal Engine. Starting from Unreal Engine, make sure the Metahuman plugin is toggled on under Plugins. Next, right-click in the content browser and go to Metahuman's Character. Rename it if you want. Double-click on the Metahuman character. It will load with a default Metahuman mesh in topology mode. You can see this in the preview window. Now I'm going to have some references of Zoe displayed with pure ref on my screen. Now on the left-hand side, at the top of the vertical menu, I'm going to go ahead and use Preset to get started. Click on Preset and find a character with similar build to what you're going for. I'll go ahead and use Vivian. I'll give it a little time to load and you'll see the Metahuman. Since the head is the most important part, I skip over the body for right now and go straight to the head in the vertical menu. With the head menu open, I want to go to blending first and see how close I can get using references from the blended aspects of other metahumans. So I have 3 slots to blend with. The metahumans to blend are located below the empty slots. I'm looking for metahumans with facial aspects that are similar to the person I'm modeling. I select them and drag them into an open slot. Now in the preview window, the circles around different areas of the face represent the areas that I can blend with my current look and with the looks of the chosen metahumans. You can click on any of these circles and hold it, and you'll see the circle expand. The circle in the middle will represent the current appearance. A ring on the outside of that circle with 3 other circles are 3 different points that represent the different metahumans that you have chosen. Now simply hold left mouse button and drag towards any of these circles or between the circles if you want to get the appearance that you can incorporate with your actual model. Now, proximity matters here, and you can also blend between multiple metahuman aspects. Switching to a clay surface helps me visualize the structures needed and not get distracted by the skin textures. Now, I don't want to go too far with this in Unreal Engine. Most of the facial structures will be handled in ZBrush. I don't want the current clothes, so I'll go ahead and remove those too. Now in the assembly area on the left, I get the model ready for export, but first in the top menu, I will need to add a rig, and I can add it anyway, it doesn't matter, and then export the head so I can sculpt it in ZBrush. Now either rig will work just fine, and I need to download textures, any size will work. And now I can assemble the metahuman and leave this window. Now find the blueprint metahuman that has been created and open it. In the Viewport tab, you can go to the metahuman model hierarchy on the left side and select the face. Then in the Detail tab, go to the mesh and browse to that asset. Now you should be able to see the head asset in the content browser. Right-click it, and in the menu, go to Asset Actions and Export. Save it, and in the export option, untoggle LODs, and then click Export. You can save and close Unreal Engine here, and head over to ZBrush. In ZBrush, we want to go ahead and do a FBX import. Leaving the settings as they are is fine. Now, the mesh should import with some funky colors on it, and it will be in one subtool. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it and choose Polygroup with UVs. Now, I really just want to work on the head mesh, and so I'll go ahead and separate all the other items. To do this, I just Control-Shift-Click on the head mesh, and the other items automatically hide. Now I just select Split Hidden, and the other items are kept in another subtool. Keeping my ref close by, I adjust from as many angles as I can. That's a great thing about ZBrush. It's best to have references where the person is showing as little emotion as possible. It can be really complex, at least a complex task to be mindful of cooperation of all these different muscles in the face that create the outward expressions that you see. So a straight face, something like a poker face, is the best way to go. I will adjust the lighting to be similar to the references I have. This way it picks up the plane changes and landmarks in the face and how the lights hit it and how the shadows are shaping it. I do my best not to get too far in the higher levels of detail. For the first round, I just want to lock down the primary and maybe some of the secondary forms. Now, having a basic understanding of human facial anatomy will help a great deal here. Knowing how the forms of the human face generally look will take you far. If you want it to work better in Metahuman Creator, Unreal Engine, you can combine it and dynamesh it and really work on cleaning up the edges and then export it. I have found that keeping the mesh fairly low in poly count gives really good results, and that's if it's possible. It seems when I go higher in the poly count, the accuracy actually goes down in Unreal Engine. Now with the sculpt at a place where I think it will work well, I'll go ahead and combine it now, the head and the eyes, and export it as an FBX. Now back in Unreal Engine, I can import the FBX into the content browser with all the default settings. I didn't add a texture here, so my mesh will be blank. In the content browser, right-click and go to Metahuman and Metahuman Identity. Rename it something relevant. Double-click it, and there should be a blank preview window. In the top of the menu there, above the preview window, click on, I believe it says Craft Component, and choose from Mesh, and choose the mesh that you imported, and give it time to load. The face facing the camera, so you need a front view of the head. So you have to have the camera facing the front of the face, and make sure the whole head is visible in the preview window. Also, a good idea is to change the lighting so it's even on the face. You can hold down the L button and pan the mouse left to right to get equal lighting. When happy with the setup, click on Process Frame. Then once the track markers button text is highlighted, it shows up, click on that. Now you'll have green markers on the character for the landmark areas that Metahumans needs to calculate the facial aspects. If you want, use the green contour lines to move the borders around the face so that they line up better and closer to your reference. I said this earlier, if more time was spent, dynameshing and cleaning up the actual mesh before you brought it in, you probably wouldn't need to do this. But for me, I usually don't do too much with this. I find that the Metahuman Creator tools are good enough for me to get it where I need. But you pick your battles. So the alignment here doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. I'm looking to get the secondary features aligned at best. When the tracker looks good enough, you can click on the marker identity solve above the preview window and give it some time. Once it is done, you can find the tracked HID in the content browser. Now, when I open the original Metahuman window again, the HID is now updated. Sometimes that doesn't happen immediately, but usually when I remove the rig and check it out again, it is updated. Now this time I'm going to start with sculpting the HID from the menu on the left, and I'm trying to get the facial structures aligned with my references. Now, for some, this may be as far as you want to go. This may be good enough. But if you really want high accuracy, it's best to go ahead and export the mesh again. Now, follow the same steps as we did when we exported it the first time. Now, remember, to export it again, you'll have to add textures and also give it a rig. And once again, you're exporting the blueprint version of this. Now, back in ZBrush, I highly recommend taking your time and really sculpting and revising the sculpts so that they match the references as well as you can get them. The second pass should be those secondary details of the face. For a referenced actress like Zoe, there is another pass that I do, a third level of detail. Sometimes that isn't necessary, but references with very distinct facial details will need more of a customized approach. So the skin details in Metahumans are going to be replaced by my custom ones. And you do this by importing custom textures in normal maps. Re-importing is straightforward. However, I do recommend creating a new project if this goes over 3 different imports and exports. The Metahuman Creator picks up on the latest identity solved mesh. So each time you can keep dialing in the look. Now there is a way to bring in a custom mesh to be referenced and blended with your Metahuman Creator mesh, but I find that it does not give the best precision. It seems to be more of a custom blending experience than something that is very precise. Now my version of Zoe is at a great point. In my case, I've decided to go ahead and render totally outside of Unreal Engine, so I exported all the items to Marmoset Toolbag. Now, I originally did this because I was editing so much, editing the normal maps and the other texture maps so much, I decided to go ahead and render without her rig. That's it for this tutorial. This is not the only way to create a character mesh from reference, but I like it because it gives me more control over the production and allows me to sculpt and develop like an artist. So, hope this video was very helpful to you. Bye for now.